that movie. Why are we feeling happy for him? Hey, everybody, we're live. This is so exciting. We are here to talk about some of the movie news and talk about the Disney Plus day that kind of was, maybe, sort of.
There's a lot of tweets. I saw lots of pictures.
Uh, and we have Patrick Beatty is here with me, my friend.
Hey, thank you for
Yeah,
having me again. This is so fun.
it
And we're
really
talking
is
about so
fun.
many different random bits of here's a title for something and nothing else. This will be
So
fun.
weird. I mean, and getting titles graphics that are literally
Hmm.
worse than the previous graphics that we had.
There were yeah, we can get into that. I kind of Secret Invasion for sure. Oh no, I think you muted yourself.
There we go.
Yes.
I'm new at this whole thing
No,
sometimes.
you're not. How
It's not
dare
good.
you? I did it. I
Uh,
muted her.
but yeah, so they had like built this up. This is Disney Plus Day, and we should say we have the chat room open. Plus, if you're so inclined, super chat that would be cool. But we'd love to get your questions. Anything that you have that you want to hear us opine on, please put in the chat room, and we will talk about it. But yeah, they built this up as like this big thing. This is like the new D23. This is going to be a huge thing,
Mhm.
and it was so lame. There's like
Yeah.
no other word to describe it. It was totally lame.
We thought DC fandom and by the way, did you have me over on that too? Are you
Yeah, we
just putting
did.
me in these fandoms because there's not there just fill the room, man, just fill the air, whatever. Yeah, I don't know if
I
this is
mean,
any better than what that was. This might
I
have
mean
been
that
worse.
was at least had some content. This had
Yeah.
nothing.
A
I
picture
mean,
of Hocus Pocus. A
yeah.
great picture. That's a wonderful picture, but it's kinda like, did you need a whole announcement about it
No,
then? I don't
no.
know.
And
And
yeah,
this
it
isn't like
was
a
it was
investors meeting, was it? This was like a public display to show
yeah.
what
I
their
mean,
lineup
the
is.
investors, that's the irony. The investors meeting last December was way better.
Oh, no.
Way better. Like that was actually really good and exciting.
Yeah.
And we just got nothing from them. I mean, almost every single thing that they announced, we already knew, except for a couple Marvel series.
Mhm.
Uh, we already knew about. We already knew were in the works. It wasn't a surprise. We already knew that Disenchanted was coming. We already knew Obi-Wan was coming. We already knew Miss Marvel was coming. So there was nothing new,
Yeah.
hardly at all.
Slight
And
with slight bits of footage, but not even release dates on a lot of stuff where we
yeah,
got footage, like
it was just
She-Hulk.
very vague, like coming in 2022.
Mhm. Which, by the way, what did
Weird.
you think of the She-Hulk stuff? Because that's honestly the latest
Hmm.
one that I recently saw, and I'll be honest, if what the rumors are about all of these special effects delays are true with their films, this is not looking good for their TV either because Hulk did not look very hulky.
Yeah.
That
I
was
think they were
rough.
trying to go for sort of like a 70s aesthetic. I don't know if you've seen that image of like comparing it to the original like television show and stuff.
I
But
read
like,
Boston Legal is like their heavy influence. Did you ever watch that show?
mhm.
I
Yeah, a
love
little
Boston
bit, a little
Legal.
bit.
I think that I don't know.
I actually have read the most recent She-Hulk comics, or I don't know about most recent, but a
Hmm.
popular one, and I really enjoyed it. It was very fun. I think there is a total possibility to go kind of Ally McBeal on with
Oh,
this
okay.
show. That's what I would use as a template if it was me,
Yeah.
because there's definitely sort of a banter, a humor,
A
to
Bruce
her.
banter.
Yeah, very good.
Ba-doom-tsh. His
Well,
arm looks healed too. So timeline wise, is this pre Endgame, pre his snap that hurt his
I
arm? That's
I
interesting.
don't know. That's a good question.
That was really the only thing
Um,
that you could surmise from this is like it looks a little angly Hulk, but that's okay.
yeah. So, well, let's dive in. Let's talk about some of these things. The most exciting announcement for me was the X Men '97 announcement.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you have watched the original X-Men animated series, but it is excellent. It is, in my opinion, on the same level as Batman the Animated Series. Both of those were
Mm,
so good, so well animated, such good writing, and I'm really pumped because the actress who portrays Jean Grey,
mhm.
Mystique in that show is named Catherine Disher, and I've interviewed her 6 times because she's on a Hallmark show called The Good Witch,
Okay.
and I feel like we become semi like friends, cordial, whatever.
Mhm.
And so I'm just so excited for her, and we've talked about the series so much with her that I don't know, it's just super cool because they're bringing in the as much as the original cast as they can
Oh, nice.
and back. And so she'll be back, and her ex-husband is actually plays Charles Xavier, which is hilarious.
I hope they're on good terms.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully.
They're like, "Disney brought us together."
Yeah.
Well, for my experience, I guess I should say, I really was heavy with Batman, and, like, I think my onset of ADHD was just not being able to get away from the fandom that I loved
Hmm.
and look and branch out to other stuff. So I was like, Spider-Man, I'll watch Batman. It's just like that. But same went for X-Men. I did have a lot of the actual action figures from the cartoon though. Um, but that was really the only thing that I had. I've heard great things about the show though, and I will watch it, the new version. I probably would more than likely just check out like the top 10 best for the X-Men series though, just to, spruce up on everything, spruce up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good show, and I mean, I haven't binged it for a long time, but it's just it tackles some, serious issues, especially consider in the 90s,
Mhm.
and,
It's
it's
close to
just
comics,
it's
right?
well done. Yeah, close to
Because
comics.
I've read comics, the X-Men
Mhm.
comics.
It's way better than any of the films.
Oh,
Hot
snap,
take.
okay.
I mean, I haven't
That
seen
better
Logan.
than Dark Phoenix? Come on.
Yeah, I asked her, I said, "Why do you think they have not been able to translate Jean Grey into the movies?" In one of
Mhm.
my interviews. She was just it's a
What'd she
tough
say?
character. It's a tough character to adapt. It
Oh,
really
that's a
is.
that's a political
No,
answer.
I can't remember exactly what she said.
Because they haven't built her the right way.
But but let's talk about, I guess, the only Star Wars thing that was really in there was the
Mm,
Obi-Wan series sizzle reel, I guess you'd call it,
yeah.
clip
Oh,
reel.
I got obnoxiously pumped for this. Like, I was like, "This isn't a lot. You shouldn't be this excited about it." But they're gonna fight again, Rachel. They're gonna do the saber duel.
But doesn't it mess with timeline a little bit?
It
Because
totally does. Look, after Rise of Skywalker, I don't care about their time.
there,
Like they don't care. They just want to give us fan service at this point. Rise of Skywalker was too much for me. I checked out of that movie. But if they're gonna do this and fill in a little bit of the gap of like, so Vader just forgot, like he really didn't try to seek after anybody and tie in this Clone War stuff. I think that's the key for the Obi-Wan series to really be effective is you have to blend in what the animated shows have been doing and make
mhm.
that canon basically for live action.
Because doesn't in the original Star Wars, doesn't
Hmm.
Obi-Wan, says this is from like a different time, and he acts like he barely remembers that was way back. If he
Well, he
had
doesn't
just
remember R2.
barely,
He's like, I don't know that dude.
if he had
Like,
just barely fought Darth Vader and knew and was protecting Luke from Vader, like, I mean, I guess he's got a good poker face at the very least.
Well, he's relatively young still. He's not gone full Alec Guinness yet. So it could just be maybe a few years after. Like Luke could be maybe 5 years old, and I guess from there you've got maybe I don't know how old he was canonically in this. Maybe 15,
So
16.
they've got like 10 years sort of until Star
Maybe a
Wars.
10-year gap would be good, but they can't continue it. They gotta give us the best that they can right here. What do you think though? Because Deborah Chow's the one that's starting all of this. That
Mhm.
she's done all of this so far. Like she's done most of the Good Mandalorian episodes from season one. Are you excited that she's helming it?
Sure. Yeah, I'm curious to see. I mean, I am not a big fan of the prequels. I'm not one of those people
Mm,
who's like, just because the sequels were disappointing, that means I love the prequels. No, thank you.
yeah,
Um, and so
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I did really like Rebels because Rebels talked about different characters, and I got invested in them. And it had Rebels had such strong female characters, and
Mm,
I don't know, I just really liked it, and Clone Wars, I haven't seen all of it, but it was
mhm.
pretty good. But again, kind of focusing on the same characters that we already knew, so I like Rebels better. But yeah, I don't know. I thought this looked, engaging. It wasn't really a trailer. It was kind of like, okay, we already knew all of this stuff. Again, we already knew Hayden was coming back. We already knew,
Oh,
so like
yeah. There was a
so it
lot of
didn't really
concept
excite
art,
me that
though.
much because whatever excitement I already had was already there.
That's true, and they show concept art of, like, they're going back to Mustafar, I think, and you have Vader's lair, so they're gonna be pulling the Rogue One lore from where they were at with Vader over
Yeah.
there. But there's also a little bit of, like, we get the saber duels again. We get a yeah, I guess a little bit of a look at what some of the areas are gonna be. You see this huge kinda Jedi temple looking place, but just full of stormtroopers. So
Yeah.
there's interesting stuff. But if they don't name one of the episodes "Looking for Leia" in Alderaan places, I will be so disappointed. Like, they need to do some silly punnage.
Yeah.
I want Watto back. Bring back Watto.
Watto episode. I mean, I was so surprised though that speaking of Rogue One, we didn't get a Cassian Andor sizzle reel because
What
they're
was the
filming
last
that
thing
right
we
now,
heard
aren't
about
they?
this? Yeah, were they doing reshoots, or are they all done with it?
I just remember hearing
Oh, man, what
I
is
feel
this?
like a couple weeks ago that they were filming it.
Don't
I
mind the
don't
clickety
know.
clacks. I'm sorry, let me see.
But there's that, and then I thought they might announce like Bad Batch season 2 or
Looks like
there
they
were
had a sizzle reel.
they also I was also surprised it's not Star Wars, but they
Oh,
didn't
never mind,
announce
no.
season 2's of anything. I thought they might use this opportunity because they haven't announced a season 2 of Turner and Hooch or Best Shot or just all there's a lot of really good shows that they were waiting to hear. I guess we found out that they were going to have High School Musical, the series season
Season
3.
3, which that had a second season? I knew they were doing 1, but whoa.
The second season was disappointing. I mean, as a theater nerd, I love the show, but the
Well,
second
we're
season,
Salt Lake. We're right next
yeah,
to where it was all
that's
done.
right.
I was from St. George, where they did all the lava rock dancing and stuff, and we were my school did the baseball game thing, so that
Yeah,
was our outfield.
and they kind of gave a little teaser
Mm,
that the next musical that they're going to do is Frozen. Did you see
yeah.
that? Yeah,
Oh, I didn't see that.
because it said, oh gosh, what did it say on the poster? Um,
By the way, for the Andor thing, when I tried to search for this, some of the things that immediately came up, people also asked, "What happened to Andor?"
oh yeah,
So I think you're right on the money. Like, that Disney just forgot about it, I think.
yeah, they had in the they just forgot about their own
They must
program.
have just forgot about it. And,
What?
like, everybody's like, "Wait, what?" They're right with you.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying this to blow up what we did. I'm saying this to downgrade what Disney did. But like, we had a Hallmarkies Podcast Awards this
Mhm.
last February where we had multiple stars from Hallmark in and we had the giving out the awards and everything. I swear that was more entertaining than this Disney Plus.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Well, I don't
Uh
even know where it was. What were people watching this? They were
I
watching
was
it then?
trying to watch it, but there was nothing to watch.
Well, I gotta there was someone that was doing a live watch, Leo, Rydell, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
he got, like, tons of views, so shout out to
But
him.
what are you
That's
gonna
really great.
watch? You're just watching a Twitter feed?
They
Like,
had
how
to
do you
watch
make
him,
a
and that dude, look, I will watch him. Like, he's great with
Oh, I
what he
love him.
does. But 20,000 people, that was a lot of people probably waiting for the Andor series. Let's be real. We all have been clamoring. What the
I can't
hell?
find it where it said, but on the poster it said, love is an open door, it says, which is from Frozen
Oh, okay.
on the poster.
Nice.
So, but the only reason that I'm excited about High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 3, is because
Mm,
I loved EJ and Gina. I am a huge fan of them. I thought they
gotcha.
had so much chemistry. I thought they were so great, and we did not get a kiss at the end because of stupid COVID. And so I'm really hoping at the end of that by season 3 we get a kiss because I just loved them so much. They were great,
Mhm,
but most everything else in the season didn't really work that well for me, but I was so invested in them. They were great.
mhm.
Um, so I'm pumped. They could just call it the EJ and Gina show, and I would be happy. Get
That'll
rid
be
of
the
that terrible
spinoff.
title.
Once they've milked this for all it's worth, that's a spinoff show.
The
Ugh,
High School
I
Musical,
switching.
the musical, the series is ridiculous. Okay, then they announced coming to Disney Plus that on Disney Plus Day, all stuff we already knew. So we
Mm,
have Shang-Chi, we have Jungle Cruise, Home Sweet Home Alone, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, Season 2, Olaf
that's always
Presents,
exciting. I love his shows.
yeah, Ciao Alberto, the short, Under the
Yes.
Helmet, The Legacy of Boba Fett,
That's a
yeah, Marvel,
documentary about Boba Fett,
yes.
which again, you really don't have that much information to be doing this, but whatever.
Right. Okay, so some more stuff that we got, that we got kind of reminded of. So we got our
Mhm.
first look at Moon Knight.
Oh, yes.
First,
Very Daredevil-esque too. This guy's got
yeah,
a grudge.
yeah. What
And
did you
he's got a
think?
British accent too. Did you hear that mess?
I didn't. Yeah,
Oscar Isaac has a Cockney British accent, like he's a street sweeper. I
it looked.
think that I've got a different problem with me. Imagine that voice coming out of Oscar Isaac. It freaked me out. That's so weird, right?
Yeah, it was an
He's
interesting
nowhere near
choice.
British. It's so weird.
All right. So then we also got a title card for Agatha House of Harkness.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm excited for
Yeah.
that.
I'm looking forward to it too. I loved WandaVision. I thought it was great. I'm intrigued by her character.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel
Do you
like
know if
is
it's the
there
same creators? Same showrunners?
Jen Schaefer. Let's see who she is.
And
Do-do-do.
Schaefer doesn't have much of a
Yeah, she
presence.
doesn't have IMDb. It just says so. I don't know on that one, but and
Yeah, that's
then
rough.
they announced a number of animated things from Marvel, including Marvel Zombies. What do you think of that?
I thought we got that. I thought we
In What
already got
If?
it. Yeah, What If is having a season 2, which I think is very generous. That's
Yeah,
very generous for season to give them that.
I
And if you're
agree.
going zombies and the Spider-Man the freshman year and X-Men 97, I think you should cut something. One of those has gotta go.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
way
I
too
are you gonna
saturated.
have a whole series about Marvel Zombies? That seems like a lot.
I don't want it. I
I mean,
really
and
don't.
I even as much as I absolutely loved Agatha and I love WandaVision, I'm I'm a little bit like, can you do a whole series from her perspective? But I guess with good writing, anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of I always say the nerdiest stuff when it comes to this Marvels. It depends on where you set it in the timeline. Like it would be interesting to see like where she is at the beginning or if they're planning on going into Endgame, like how she kind of rose up to the power that she got because she didn't really have much other than those witch sisters that she took the powers from. But then there's just a ton of time from there. You that might be kind of getting more into Eternals problems though, if you're trying to jump timelines and stuff. So a series might be good for her. I love the actress that plays her,
Oh
Catherine
yeah,
Hahn.
yeah, for
So
sure.
just I'll watch whatever she's doing.
So they also announced Spider-Man Freshman Year, animated
Yes.
series that follows Peter Parker on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU with a journey unlike we've ever seen, which that's a bold statement. I
They
mean,
said that with Amazing Spider-Man. Didn't give me this a
I mean,
different perspective.
a
Great.
journey like we've never seen in any Spider-Man iteration. I
Uncle
find that
Ben
hard to
starts
believe.
sweating profusely. We know
And
that's gonna be shown.
it is unknown if Tom Holland will lend his voice to the character or if he will be played by a newcomer.
Or the original Spider-Man. Do that. That sounds, because didn't they bring him into What If? They had the original Ultimate Animated Spider-Man voicing
Oh
Spider-Man in
yeah.
that. Why not do that? He would have been great.
I've just become Senora cynical when it comes to Spider-Man. I am so
That needs a
tired of
that needs
hearing
a
about
song. That's a I'm gonna come up with something for that, and I'll send it to you. You never have to use it. But
Okay.
Senora Cynical, that's one of the fun. That's amazing.
Because maybe it'd be my new series, Senora Cynical,
Yes.
because I'm so tired of hearing about Spider-Man and Spider-Man and Spider-Man and Spider-Man.
If they
And
were doing Miles Morales, maybe it would be different, or
ugh,
like not. That's a
I
step
didn't like
back.
the last one, and I mean,
You didn't like Far
hopefully
From
this next
Home.
one I did not. No, I did not care
Oh,
for it. Yeah.
now how come?
Um, I
We don't
don't
have to
know.
get too into it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. The thing I didn't like about it is that I didn't like the way that they brought back the same boring old villain motivation of Tony Stark was mean to me, so
That's a very
I'm gonna
valid complaint.
ugh.
Very valid.
And like he had just sacrificed himself. And the next movie, you have people being bratty. Yeah, it just annoyed me so
No, I,
much.
I
And
valid.
why on earth would Tony Stark give Peter Parker, a teenager, a child, a mass weapon that can kill millions of people? It doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense.
but
Like
he
he's the
still
one
has in
that's
the end, right?
he's the one that is trying to get the Sokovia Accord to pass. The last thing that he's going to do is have some giant weapon like that. I mean, it did not make any sense.
Those are
And
very valid points. I mean, maybe you could say Endgame changed his perspective on that because the Sokovia Accords kept everybody apart. But
so
why give him a mass weapon?
and
Who knows?
what did they do with Peter Parker in the movie but have him almost kill one of his schoolmates? Like that's supposed to be charming. Like I
Mm.
just thought the movie I did not care for it at all.
One thing for sure with this third one is that I think that he's not really lost anything in any of these. Like, sure, he's lost Tony Stark, but like this is a very happy-go-lucky Peter that's not actually become the full Peter Parker in that
Mhm.
sense. So I hope that something more of a Sam Raimi sense comes to him. And
Mhm. But
take that what you will. I don't know.
it's my least favorite Marvel movie. I did not like it. I just thought that
Wow.
almost every decision they made annoyed me, and I mean, yeah, it has like good pieces in it, but so does every Marvel movie.
Yeah.
There's none that have like terrible, in my opinion, at least terrible acting or terrible, you know, they just anyway. I didn't
Yeah.
like it, and I'm just tired of hearing about it, and it's brought out my angry eyes. What can I say?
Do you want me to rip through the rest of these?
Sure, you can just say the next
I
one.
could tell you I'm very excited for Echo. What do you know about Echo?
Not much.
Okay, this is great. So we're seeing some crossovers potentially with Daredevil's universe. Whether they're doing a reboot is up for debate still. But She-Hulk, there's rumors that there could be something related to Daredevil in it. With Echo, her character is the adopted daughter of Kingpin. And so
Okay.
Kingpin has been rumored to possibly be in this Hawkeye series. And if that's the case, then this would be a story about his daughter or his daughter-in-law. And if Vincent D'Onofrio, he's not good at keeping his mouth shut, is all I'm gonna say. And you can Google whatever you want, but he's not good at hiding things. And maybe Marvel's already shot a dart at him. But that's one I'm
Mhm.
very excited for. The other ones, we've got I Am Groot that's coming at some point. Ironheart,
Animated.
yeah, the Ironheart series is coming. When you
What did
talked
you
about, oh, sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
I was
I'm
just gonna
ripping
say,
too
what
much.
did you think of the Miss Marvel clip?
It didn't show us anything really.
Yeah, not much.
It felt like they just slapped the same like progression that they did with Moon Knight, where she's
Mhm.
jumping over something and like everybody's looking up, or like it was the exact same shot in a sense because it was him jumping over rooftops and it was her jumping over a rooftop. Um, I know that she's got
Yeah.
a power skill that's like very interesting, like a weird like translation because she's got a big fist, right? She can just,
Yeah. I
so
mean, it
I don't
looked
know.
cute. It looked fun, but yeah, it didn't really get me super hyped. Did you
Mm-mm.
watch the trailer for the new Baymax series?
I saw him putting the suit up, but was that it? When he was putting the suit on him?
Uh so for the series, it's basically going to be about, I guess, Baymax with like helping
Mm,
different people. Like he helps Hero's mom,
yeah.
and he runs the. It was pretty funny, the whole scene where he's like trying to make a latte. That was kind of
Hmm.
that was humorous. So we'll see.
Secret
I mean, they already
Invasion, though.
have.
That was an interesting thing.
What is it?
Oh, Secret Invasion. I thought that was what you were
Mm.
mentioning with the logo looking worse. This
Oh
one
no, it was
looked
the
worse to me.
She-Hulk. They
Really?
actually, the original last year when they announced the She-Hulk, it was a pretty cool logo with uh, purple and green
I
and
see
everything,
that.
and now it was just this like pretty basic logo.
Mhm.
So I
It
think it was
looks
a
familiar to
downgrade.
Boston Legal. It looks like it's trying to be a law show.
Yeah, that's probably true. Well, I
It's
mean, she is
city.
a lawyer, so
Mhm.
that makes sense.
That'd be cool.
Um, so we had some other news. We had Cars on the Road, which is a little bit weird because it's like that's all they are is on the road. They're car.
No, duh.
I mean, it'd be more
Obviously.
interesting if it was off the road,
Hey,
frankly.
lightning had to train on a dirt road.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
I guess in the
That's so weird.
demolition derby,
Does it mean, or are they trying to say
we should
like
have the Cars
we're like
demolition derby
Survivor,
show.
or this is
It
the
would be
Amazing Race but with cars? That'd be
the
interesting.
Cars demolition derby, but like it would be them dealing with their trauma.
Or if they just are doing a straight rip off of like Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown and just going to different locations. What do cars eat in this location?
Yeah, it's very confusing. I guess they just need oil. I think that's the only thing they need to eat. But then you see Mater eating. He eats all that
Mhm.
wasabi
Yeah, I've
in Cars 2.
with cars, it's best just to not observe any type of logic when it comes
Well,
to
in
this.
Cars 2,
No, they have
Cars 2
monsters
they
at
have
work too.
Cars 2 they have the Pope Mobile. So there's Catholicism
Mm,
in
yeah.
Cars world. And Jesus.
Ugh.
There's a car Jesus.
And monsters at work, is this going to be just straight up like short clips of monsters terrifying a kid and then to the next one?
Well, see, no, they already had that. They already had season 1 of Monsters
They
at
did?
Work. Yeah, I actually
Oh,
interviewed the
okay.
director. Um,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it's kind of a spin-off more than it's about like this new monster Tyler
Mm,
who is trained on how to scare, but then he gets there and he has to learn how to laugh.
yeah.
It was pretty good. It was cute. Uh,
Okay.
but not as much Mike and Sully as you think. Not very
Yeah, they need to
much.
keep those two in there more if they want to do more monster stuff.
Yeah, and so then they had a clip from, or not a clip, but an image from the new Fiona series.
Mm.
It's the follows the newly crowned Princess of Maldonia on a new adventure. So that's
Now,
something I guess to look forward to.
Fiona. So this is like Shrek Fiona.
Oh, did I say
No?
Fiona? I meant Tiana. Why did I
Oh.
say that? I have no idea. I'm
I was
sorry.
like,
I'm
wait a
losing it.
minute.
I'm losing it. It's follow Prince. So the
Oh,
original
there we go.
series, Tiana
I see
follows
the
the new.
picture.
Yeah, it's uh,
They needed to do
then
more with her anyway. She's an underutilized Disney princess.
well, and they need to too as well because I mean, I think that the Princess and the Frog is a flawed film that
Mhm.
I mean I appreciate, but they need to do more with her, especially if they're making revamping Splash Mountain
Mhm.
into a Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. We got the
Pinocchio.
first look at Hocus Pocus 2.
Yes.
So
Okay, Bette
you
Midler
ready
does
for a
not
hot
age.
take?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like Hocus Pocus.
Oh, that's a lukewarm take.
I think it is.
I don't think anybody likes, you know what I mean?
What? I think
Like
it's so overrated. I
I
mean,
think
people.
we like it like we
I,
like The Room. We all know it's
I don't
corny,
know. Do you
it's
really think people like
cheesy.
it ironically? Because it gets
I
so much
do.
hype, and you go to Disneyland, and it is everywhere. Like,
Yeah, but could that just be a businessman not understanding Like how people, because I've always seen it as like the peak Disney Channel original movie, but nothing more. Like I've never been like, no, 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 this is like Die Hard with Christmas. It's underrated, it's underutilized, and damn it, it's a Halloween movie. I think that,
I
but I don't know.
I think if you're going for top tier, there's Disney Channel scary movies. There's so many that are better. Like
Mm,
I think all the Halloween Town movies better than Hocus Pocus. I think Don't Look Under the Bed better. Phantom of the Megaplex better. I could
whoa.
list
Okay.
a lot.
Whoa. Phantom of the Megaplex. You just threw me
That's a really
back to
good
my
movie.
childhood. Jeez, I haven't heard that in a while. That was fun.
It's
It
a
was
very
like
good movie.
I
It's
had
better
like
than
when
this.
Ratatouille ate the dish. Just bro.
I do not understand the like devoted cult classic following that they have an entire fireworks show devoted to it at Disney World
What? I didn't know
for Hocus
that.
Pocus.
Okay, I've changed my mind. But the picture's nice. Like they look good.
Sure.
I don't
I
know
mean, I
what
hope the
story they
fans
have
will
with
be
this
happy.
though.
I know, like my friend Elisa from Mainly Movies, she loves it. She
Hmm.
like rented out a whole theater to it. She loves this movie, so God bless her. I
Hmm.
just don't get it. I don't understand. There's so many. I mean, there's so many better Disney movies, scary Disney movies you could talk about. Something Wicked This Way Comes. You could talk about Watcher in the Woods. You could talk about Frankenweenie is better. Nightmare Before Christmas is better. Like the
Jeez.
list goes on and on.
Well, now it's a hot take. Like it started with a lukewarm take, but then you just turn the temperature up.
But I
I
hope everybody
I
will love it.
respect
Hocus
that.
Pocus 2. I hope it's better than Home Alone. Oh.
Hmm.
So then they also showed this trailer for the new Ice Age series.
Okay.
And it's
Now that Fox is
it's
Disney.
Buck Wild, and it's not even set in like the Ice Age. Like it's in warm climate. And it looks really bad. I mean, the animation looked terrible. I mean, I know those Ice Age movies got pretty bad at the end, but they always at least looked nice.
They just
This
called
looks,
it Buck Wild. That's so weird.
yeah, Buck Wild. The
Oh,
Adventures
it's
of
of
Buck
that dude.
Wild.
It's the dude with the eye patch.
Yeah, the Simon Pegg. No,
Hmm.
thank you. Um,
Yikes.
and then they had a little thing from the Willow cast.
Oh yeah, that was actually that was cute to because that movie's always been underrated. I've not watched it still to this day, but everyone that I know that's in the
Have you never
Utah
seen it?
community, at least, yeah, the Utah community always loves Willow, right?
Yeah,
Like
no,
it's kind of
that's
the thing.
accurate.
I'm
It's
pretty sure that whatever the Taylor Swiftville place is just based off of Willow, right? What is that
I
place called?
yeah
What is it?
the
It's like it's Taylor Swift's album, Evermore
oh
Park.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's that, and then also, of course, Princess Bride that everybody in Utah is obsessed with.
Yes, oh, very much. My wife hates The Princess Bride mainly because of that. I can't get her to watch it
Oh
because
no.
she's like, nope.
Yeah, I used to joke that you go to church and it's like you got your scriptures and the Princess Bride. Those are the required canon.
As the priest, as one of the priests hands over, no, a deacon hands you the bread tray, as you wish.
They had also a trailer for the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, and
That's
this looked
cool.
pretty fun to me.
I love the Proud Family. That was
yeah,
such a great show.
I'm looking forward to it. I thought it looked fun, so look forward to that. They announced a new Spiderwick Chronicles live action or animated live action. Sorry, live action.
I wasn't too big a fan of that. I don't know. Is
I
Thrifty
yeah, I
Freak
mean,
from Fox? Did they make that?
they made one movie. I never saw it. So
Yeah,
okay.
I love the
read the
book
books.
series though. I read all of them, but I can't
what do you
remember
think?
if it was from Fox.
Are you ready to watch Sneakerella?
No, and I am. You know what? I'm putting my foot down. We're done. I'm done with these Cinderella movies. I'm done. Like this year broke me. That Cinderella movie that showed up on Amazon Prime right before everybody's talking about Jamie and totally sweep the momentum because you could easily sell everybody's talking about Jamie as a modern day Cinderella.
Yeah,
And then they
that's
went and
true.
tried to do a modern day Cinderella that was neither modern nor fun nor Cinderella at all. It was the silliest movie. The Prince Charming guy, I don't mean to be, rude, but ugliest dude I've ever seen trying to be Prince Charming. They went to the bottom of the barrel for casting on that, and they couldn't just pay to Ansel Elgort a little bit.
It was so weird because I mean, they really
didn't even do
was like
songs. They're
actively
just
trying to
mashups.
not be Cinderella. You have Idina
Mhm.
Menzel, a legend, amazing, playing the Wicked Stepmother. That should have been awesome. But literally, when
so
she
underused.
finds out that Cinderella has been with the prince and everything, she says, "Oh, good, maybe you can make something for our family." She's like actively supportive of Cinderella. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was
I mean,
it was all
what
backwards.
has happened to
They tried to
Disney?
do Hamilton, and then they wanted to do Pitch Perfect, and in the end, they did nothing
Yeah,
original
it's
because they
true.
kept trying to do these mashups, and some of the people had British accents, some of them had American accents. People had nose rings, and they were like washing laundry with like an old shift. What are you doing? What is this film?
I'd like to say something. If you're listening out there, Bob Chapek, which I know you are, listen to this. People can be bad. Bad people exist, and pretending
Stop
like they
making your
don't in
villains
your
good.
movies is just irresponsible. I mean,
Mhm.
kids need to learn that there are bad people in the world. And yeah, everybody has their own backstory, and that's fine, but it doesn't make them not bad. And like Disney has spent the last like 20 years just pretending like villains don't exist. And that's just not reality.
They
Like
keep
that
revising
one of
their
the great
history.
parts of storytelling is being able to help kids to learn the difference between good and evil,
Mhm.
and how to make good choices, and that's what Pinocchio is so great about. It teaches kids to be honest and to, like to
Well,
not do bad things.
and that's a perfect segue because they're doing the Pinocchio film, like a live action movie.
We
And
gonna get the coachman's backstory, his sympathetics.
that's the thing. I 100% agree with you. And I know that you're a lot more easier with these Disney films than I am. Like I remember when we walked out of Dumbo and I was horrified and you were like, that wasn't the worst, but I was just like walking, shaking. But these villain ideas that they keep having of trying to make every villain a relatable character that you have to understand why they got into the mix. You really don't in
No, we
some
don't.
situations. It's not necessary. And
No,
if
I
you
have
want
to
to
say
make a
though,
good villain, go do something with an original. Don't keep rehashing.
the Dumbo, that was the day I got the death threat. So it was a
Really?
weird day for me. I'm
Was
not.
that before or after?
It was right before, like
Oh, shoot.
minutes before. Yeah. So then I went in and I was like, I love Dumbo because I was needing the comfort.
That's fair, but
Uh, but
dang.
uh, but yeah, no, just that they have spent, like, I mean, in the Beauty and the Beast, making Gaston a war hero, and like what? Like, why would you want to
Yeah.
do that? It makes his actions nonsensical, and it makes the treatment of the other characters towards him nonsensical. And it just stop it.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Like, there are bad people in the world. There are evil in the world. It exists. It's important to talk about it and not pretend like it doesn't. Like, it just
Yeah.
drives me crazy.
Go,
Yeah.
girl. Preach.
It's
Take
driving me
take
nuts.
Chapek to church.
Yes. Please.
But
And it's not only
Disenchanted is one
Disney.
I'm
I mean,
excited for.
Warner Brothers has done it too. Where it's like, oh,
Oh, sure.
we gotta tell the sympathetic backstories of every villain, and I'm like, ugh,
Mhm.
I'm so
Joker.
over it. But we did get one new series announcement called Intertwined. That's now available, I guess, on Disney Plus. Traveling through time can get a little twisted, especially when it's 1994. So, got that to
Nice.
watch if you want.
Yeah, I got nothing to say to that.
Yeah, and that's it. They had a couple of National Geographics.
Wait, you didn't say Disenchanted.
I know. Okay, yeah, we talked a little bit, but yeah,
I'm
so
excited for that one.
Disenchanted next fall.
That will be fun. Like I loved the first film.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, it's not really an announcement because I already knew that was happening. Plus, I mean, I feel like I had just heard the announcement about Enchanted finally being on Disney Plus.
Mhm.
But at least I guess there was that. But yeah, no, I'm totally excited because I love the first film. It's so funny. And I love Amy Adams as Giselle. I love her relationship with the little girl. It's so cute.
Mhm.
The only thing that drives me crazy about that movie is you have Idina Menzel in it. And you don't have her sing.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. When you're a kid, you don't put that together. But yep. In hindsight, I agree with that.
That was an
But maybe they'll
error.
change that. Maybe they'll give her something if she's in it again. I
They
don't know.
better. They better. So yeah, that's basically the Disney Plus content that we had to talk about.
And I bet any of you to say that this was not more entertaining than going and watching that.
Agreed. I think so. I mean, come on, get some hot takes at
you got
least.
rants. You got attacks on Hocus Pocus. We got we got me saying a bunch of stuff that I don't remember now.
All right, so I have some a movie favorite movie tag thing to do. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. How often do you watch a movie? Would you say you watch a movie every day?
Yeah, probably. I'm
Yeah,
watching something in a long form.
especially during Christmas. I watch at least one a day, usually 2, 3.
Mhm.
What movie genres are you particularly fond of?
The ones that I feel I can always gravitate towards are positive music films, like a film that's meant to only just kind of bring you up and also give you good music that you can sing along to and stuff.
Mhm.
Hopefully, it's original music. Sometimes it can be good if it's like going for other stuff, but I would say like movies like Sing Street or That Thing You
Oh,
Do, like those kind of movies that just kind of like tug at you in a way that's not necessarily manipulative, but like in a way that you can kind of engage with it on like a toe tapping level, which I think is that's
mhm,
kind of fun and unique to those films. If I want to get in horror genre stuff, like there's always subgenres. So I like the psychological horror in a lot of places, but
mhm.
can mess me up for a while. Those really affect me for a few days after, like
Yeah.
Midsummer and those. But
I mean, obviously, everyone knows I love rom-coms. I have a whole podcast about them.
mhm,
And I also it's not a genre, it's a medium, but I love animation and
mm.
family films as well. And but I love Sing Street. Oh, one of my
Yep, that was
favorites.
my favorite, and it really made me love
Musicals.
Everybody Loves Jamie more. Like, just it felt
Mhm.
like the Sing Street for this year.
Yeah, I agree. So what was the last movie that you've watched and liked?
The last movie that I watched, I'm like, oh well, Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah,
I literally
agreed.
just saw that last night, and yeah, it was incredible. And we're gonna talk. Can I pitch it? Can I pitch
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk more about it on my channel, so you guys
Yes, make
should
sure you're
go and check it out
subscribed.
later. Yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
Very good. Yes. What was the last movie that you've watched and hated?
Hmm, that's one I watched and hated. It's kind of tough because right now with our memory banks, we really just toss out the ones that really
That's
you
true.
know. But
Well,
you
last
made you had me watch High Holiday, and that one still hasn't left my mind a little bit. So I guess we'll go with that one.
the last Hallmark movie last night, they'd had a really good stretch where I had at least enjoyed on some level all of
Mm,
their movies. And then the movie last night I really didn't care for. And it was it had a lot of good elements that I thought that I would really like it. It's called Open by Christmas.
mhm.
I didn't like it. The mom, there's this single mom, and she's just so unreasonable.
Yeah.
She was she's actively like crying and upset about the fact that her son, who is 14, doesn't want to get his picture taken with Santa. And I'm like, are you kidding me? If my mother had asked me to get my picture with Santa when I was 14, like,
Yeah.
and she's all like, he's gonna be gone in 3 years. I have to treasure every moment. And I'm like, you're gonna do this for 3 years? I'd understand if it was like 6 months, even. I mean, I was just talking to my sister yesterday about her oldest is going to college visits and stuff like that. Like totally normal to get a little emotional, to feel a little sad about that. That's
Mhm.
fine. But it's literally 3 years away and she's already like counting down every
That's
moment. This is the
crazy.
third from last. Like I was just like, you are a crazy person. I don't like you.
Nice.
So I didn't really like that movie very much. Uh, so what? And I also I did not like Home Sweet Home Alone. The more I thought
Oh, no,
about
yeah.
it, the less I liked it.
Mm.
And what a terrible choice. Like again, not Disney, not realizing the villains can be villains. So
Oh,
what an
that's what you were
example.
talking about. I get that.
And so we don't want the Home Alone robbers to have a sympathetic backstory because then we feel bad when they're getting like paint cans thrown in their face,
Yep.
right? So it's not
No,
funny. Like what a misguided decision. Terrible.
it's weird.
Yeah, like they make them they're
Unless
about
they were
to
trying to
lose
do
their
like a
house.
parasite thing. I don't know.
They're about to lose their house and they're about to I'm like
Is it Disney's Parasite? I don't know. Was
I,
that-
I mean, at least in Parasite, you're not like expected to really like laugh at them.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
you don't even
Like,
necessarily like them either.
no,
You
so it's
just feel bad about the
okay.
whole situation.
Disney and villains. I mean, it all started with Maleficent. I blame Maleficent. It was terrible,
Mm.
and then it's all downhill from there. Okay, so what is your favorite movie of all time? Tough question.
Yeah, and it's an impossible one. Let's all be fair. Like whatever movie I'm gonna give, it's probably not even what I'm thinking. It's the first movie that's on the top of my head, right?
Yeah.
Um, hmm. In all the movies that I've watched, the one that I don't know, it's tough because I hate Miles Teller right now. I think he's
Mhm.
a garbage person, but Whiplash is kind of a perfect film, and I
Mhm.
think Back to the Future is a perfect screenplay.
Yeah.
So between those two, they're I don't know.
Those are good films. Your Name is my favorite movie. It's just my go-to. That's my
Oh,
answer
I
to the
love that movie.
question.
It's really
It's
good.
so
Yeah.
good. I love it.
Didn't they
What
want to do a live action version? Did they?
ugh. Well, supposedly, and they were gonna make it in Ohio with a Native American cast. What? That was a terrible idea.
You know what? Hey, I can understand. I can see that because Native Americans, like spirits, are a huge part of their
Yeah, but you
culture and
can't
like
just swap
ancestry.
cultures. Like,
You can't. Look. This is the guy from Screen Rant that's pitching this. It's not. It's not anyone that's actually serious about the movie. He's like, I don't
uh,
know.
what is your most favorite guilty pleasure movie?
Hmm.
Watch your like Hocus Pocus.
Oh, okay. So in like the Hocus Pocus vein,
I'm just
um,
kidding.
I can always watch something that in related to like my childhood. So like Batman and Robin, I can watch. I can watch Batman Forever, and I could still get a big kick out of it. Um, Nowadays, it's probably the ones that are so bad they're good. Like, if it's in a packed theater and we're all watching The Room, that's one of the funnest experiences I've ever had in
Yeah.
any theater, was in a group of people just throwing spoons at a screen and with beach balls bouncing all over the room and like just laughing at a movie that's ridiculous to everybody.
Yeah, I went to the what's it called? I can't think of the name all of a sudden. The riff
Broadway?
tracks. Riff
Oh, we've tried.
tracks of
Oh,
The
nice.
Room. And that was hilarious.
I love them.
Um so yeah, I mean, I have to say Diana the Musical is quickly rising up as guilty pleasure movie. But my go-to answer for this one is always Beautician and the Beast.
Mhm,
I love Fran. I love it's basically the story of the nanny, but in a movie form. And I think
mhm.
she's really funny and it's not like a great movie, but Timothy Dalton and it's kind of fun as this dictator.
Yeah. Would 10 Things I Hate
So
About You count?
I don't think so. I think that's just a
'Cause I think
solid
that's just
rom
a really
com.
good
I
movie.
don't think that's a
Yeah.
guilty
I don't
pleasure.
know.
Okay. What's a movie you have watched a million times already? Well, I mean, that's technically a million times, but a lot.
Well, the first one that I just watched over and over again was The Dark Knight when it came out. Um, I definitely didn't have a cammed copy that was on my little tiny iPod video that I would just turn on at night and watch and just go to sleep watching The Dark Knight over and over. It was really like it was a big impactful film that made me realize that not only films that you've seen a character for a very long time can be reimagined in a way that you didn't expect, but that it can also be taken way more seriously than just any like superhero film that had come out from before then. So it was cool, but I don't know. Other than that, I don't have time to rewatch a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have time to rewatch much. I would say some foundation movies for me. I would say the Little Mermaid was a foundation movie for me.
Mm.
Home Alone, actually, the original was a foundation movie for me. It was the
Oh
first
yeah.
comedy that I ever really loved. And Beauty and the Beast and Clueless was another really foundation movie. It's a movie I could watch, many times. I love You've Got Mail. That's one that I think is just so quotable, and I love that movie. I also another foundation movie, even though I know it has its flaws, I still love it. Is Breakfast at Tiffany's. That was a big movie that I loved when I was in college.
Okay.
Those are some of my favorites. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. We'll just do a couple more of these. Let's see here. Who are your favorite directors?
Favorite directors. I love Edgar Wright. I love obviously you have like your regular white boy picks, Denis Villeneuve, Christopher Nolan, I think James Mangold is really good with with his tone and his style with what he does with filmmaking. There's one that I had just on my mind, but I forgot. Ari Aster, I think, is really good, and I'm excited to see the other stuff that he does. But his movies mess you up.
Yeah.
And they're not the best. Scorsese is always a classic. I mean, Kubrick, I've seen all of his films and I get the majesty of it, but at the same time, I don't find myself going back to those. So I can't really say that like he's my favorite director. He's just one of the ones where you know that he's one of the greats.
Yeah. I don't really have that many directors that I'm super a fangirl of. They're all pretty hit and miss to me. But I mean, I do in general like Spielberg. I like pretty much all of Hayao Miyazaki's films. I think he was incredible. And I like Nora Ephron, her movies. I really enjoyed. Hitchcock, for the most part, I like Hitchcock's movies. So yeah, for most part, for me, it depends on the movie. Okay, so here we go. Then, what movie soundtrack can be found on your iPod? This is an old list.
Movie soundtrack could be found on the iPod.
I mean, I have a lot. What's the one you probably go to the most?
Back in the day, it was the Pirates. Like in high school, I was always in like the Pirates soundtrack was great. The Batman Begins soundtrack was really good.
Well, if I'm thinking like original scores,
yeah, are you meaning scores or like
thing like a soundtrack? Some of my favorites would be Dazed and Confused. I think is incredible.
Could I count Rent?
Sure.
Rent was heavily played a lot growing up.
Yeah, the Forrest Gump soundtrack is really great. And American Graffiti is really great. It's a good.
Don't Judge Me. The Spider-Man 2 soundtrack.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a great, soundtrack. I mean, original.
That's new. That's new. Too new. You can't pick Guardians. They said, "What was on your iPod?" You didn't have Guardians on your iPod.
But like if you're talking about original scores, I mean, I love The Prince of Egypt. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, totally. Joseph, like Joseph Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's in there.
Dream will do.
There's I had like it was a mixtape of different songs that I knew were coming from different soundtracks, like the Tarzan soundtrack. I'm sorry, but I love it. Like Phil Collins rocks that song so much.
Yeah, but the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, that's another big Utah favorite.
Oh, it is. Yeah. You can't escape it. You really can't.
Greatest Showman. It was so popular here. I had fun with it, but you know me and musicals.
I know, and I won't be mean.
I went with my friend, and we went to the sing along, and we were basically the only people there. So we were like standing up, and we were like, it was so fun. It was great. Okay. Okay, let's see here. A few more. What is your favorite comedy movie?
Office Space.
Oh, I love Office Space. Good call. That's a
Yep.
good one.
Love it so
Uh,
much.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail is the
That's a
greatest hits
good
on
that's in my
video.
top 3. I'd
Yeah.
probably go Young Frankenstein somewhere in there too.
Yep. I was gonna say that's. I don't know if I've ever laughed more than that scene when the blind man is filling the soup in Young Frankenstein. That scene is so funny.
When I was a kid, I loved the when Igor was being ahead on the counter and did the song when he was in that was my favorite.
Yeah, that was
It was a
really,
good one.
really yeah.
Cool.
All right. What's your favorite romantic comedy film?
Romantic comedy. Hmm, that's a tough one. 'Cause I don't know. Can you really count 500 Days as that anymore? And that one's, like, had a weird turn lately, like, it's had a turn, like, the longer
I still
time
love
has
it.
come.
I don't
I
care.
still love it too, I just don't know if I can call it, like, a romantic comedy, 'cause it does get, like, super down in the dumps at one point. Hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I love The Proposal. Um,
that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing also with Sleepless in Seattle, like, it's not
mm,
really a comedy, it's kind of
yeah.
it's a dramedy at best.
Pretty
It's very
Woman?
sad. Yeah, that's a good one. You've Got Mail's my favorite. I think it
Mm,
is just so good.
mhm,
All right. And I love, Christmas in Connecticut. That's very
mm.
underrated. If you haven't seen that, it's really good. Okay, what is your favorite sports movie?
Sports movie? Oh, this might be controversial, but I always love watching The Replacements.
Oh, I haven't
It's
seen
with
that.
Keanu Reeves and Gene
Uh-huh.
Hackman. I think it's one of the last films that Gene Hackman did, and, Keanu Reeves is a replacement quarterback because their football team went on strike to try to get more money, so they brought him in along with, like, convicts and, like, different
Yeah.
people to try to replace them, but, Jon Favreau's in it, and, like, he's insane. Like, he does a whole character that I don't think you will ever see him do in anything else. He's just an insane person. It's a fun movie.
Yeah,
Who
I've
else?
heard of it. I haven't
Orlando
seen it.
something.
That,
Mm.
for me, it's a dead heat between Rudy and Hoosiers.
Oh, okay.
My 2 favorite. I
Nice.
served my mission in
Well, in
Indiana,
boxing
so
films, you gotta account Creed.
yeah, and
It's
the
like one
original Rocky is incredible.
Did you watch the new Drago edit? They re-edited Rocky 4. I don't think it would make it better, so I didn't try.
No, I mean, somehow I totally missed that was happening, and I didn't hear
Mm.
about it until people were coming out and were like, "What?" So,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
weird.
The people thought that Sean Chandler he thought it was gonna be 40 minutes of additional features, and I'm like, "What?"
Yikes. They're just gonna extend all of the training
I
sequences.
said, "Then what is this, Lawrence of Arabia?" Like, what? I mean, come on. Um, but, yeah. So let's see, a couple more. Let's see. What's your favorite horror film?
Mm.
Mine, it's easy. Jaws is my favorite.
Oh, well, if Jaws yeah, well, I'll say Jaws, and I'll also say Silence of the Lambs because it came out on the year I was born, and it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. Like, I don't really, maybe you can help me because I don't really understand how Jaws isn't a horror movie. It's
I think
bloody.
most
People
people yeah,
die.
I think most people look at it more as like a summer blockbuster, in my opinion, or people that are more like the novice, like,
Like, a
I don't know.
horror can't be a summer blockbuster?
Maybe it might just be my brain, but whenever it goes into the conversation, I always am surprised that it's back in there.
Because I don't really understand what the difference between a horror and a thriller is. People are always saying, "Oh, that's
Mm.
a thriller, not a
Because
horror."
that's
And
what
I'm
people
like,
say about Signs of the Lambs too, is that it's more a thriller.
and I mean, the best I've heard from people is that a horror movie has to be bloody in order to be a horror movie, and a thriller doesn't have blood. But
Mm,
that would count as Jaws then. Jaws has blood.
that's true.
So
Mm,
I think
I
it's very
count it.
confusing.
I count it for sure.
Um, anyway, so and I think that Jaws is practically a perfect movie. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the acting is incredible, and if you haven't watched the documentary about the making of Jaws,
Yeah.
you need to go watch that.
And great film to watch at the drive-in because not every
Ooh.
film is a good one for a drive-in because you can't
Mhm,
hear that well, so it needs to not be super dialogue based.
mhm.
And because even if you have a good radio and everything, like, I don't know, it's just not the same, and sometimes the image gets a little warped and weird. So it's a
Um,
weird experience, but I saw it at the drive-in during 2020 and it was so fun
yeah.
because it's just a very nostalgic movie.
Mhm.
And all right, this one will probably be easy. What movie you expected and wanted to be good but failed you?
Hmm. Oh, well, we were just talking about it. This Cirque du Freak movie, and this was like one of the early disappointments in my life. Like Batman was still like I was so young that when those were coming out, I wasn't disappointed because I was a kid and it's Batman
Mhm.
and it's fun. But Cirque du Freak, I had read the series. I knew what tone it needed to be. And a series of unfortunate events with Jim Carrey had already come out and kind of messed with me a little bit with like, okay, that's not necessarily how I saw Count Olaf, but okay, we'll go with Jim Carrey because he just embodied that character so well. John C. Reilly plays the head vampire in this. I think Darren Criss is playing the kid. Josh Hutcherson is in this film too. It's one of his first films that he did before Hunger Games, and it just completely missed the mark. It was the weirdest. Like we're gonna do Twilight, kind of, but not,
Mm.
and I don't know.
I don't
They
even
just
heard of
completely
it.
missed the
Cirque
point
du
for me.
Freak.
Yeah, Salma Hayek is in it, Ken
Okay.
Watanabe, Willem Dafoe. There's a lot of good people, and I don't know what they were doing.
Well, I mean, Indy 4 really disappointed me. I was very excited
Mm,
for it. It was not good. I was 18 years old when Phantom Menace came out, and so that was disappointing.
yep.
And also, I just had one, and now it's gone. What was the?
Oh, Rise of Skywalker did it too.
Yeah,
I walked
yeah.
out I walked out of Last Jedi super excited, walked out of Force Awakens very excited, walked out of Rise of Skywalker with a headache and just annoyed.
The whole sequels were disappointing. I don't hate
Yeah.
them as much as
Have a
some
plan,
people
people.
do, but they were disappointing.
Yep. I liked
And
Solo better than I liked Rise of Skywalker.
yeah, I mean another one that was very disappointing at the time. It was Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. That movie was so bad. And like at the
You didn't
time I was still pretty I was pretty hyped on him still. I was
Yeah.
pretty excited. He hadn't lost any hope that I and so I was looking forward to it. I was like, this could be cool. This could be interesting. Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
Mm.
Yeah.
Man of Steel kinda did that to me a little too. I
Yeah.
want like I
Agreed.
was into it for the first half, but really when they started doing all the destruction stuff and like he just wasn't communicating, like that was it's always been the weirdest thing to me with Henry Cavill Superman is that if he just said like three more sentences at the end of every scene, it would
Yeah.
totally make him more relatable and understandable. But he just always has this face that he does. He looks offside, he says, I gotta do it low, and he flies away. And he gets
Yeah.
stabbed by Doomsday in the second film. But this
Well, and the
movie
fact that
didn't.
it's non-linear doesn't help either.
And let's kiss
So
while
you
a
can't
huge mass destruction just happened. Me and
yeah.
Lois are gonna make out right in front of her. It just was weird.
Yeah, I didn't care for it. It like has a lot of interesting ideas, and this is how I usually feel about Snyder's films. Has a lot of interesting ideas, but the execution just isn't there.
He wants to
And
go so visual that he forgets that we need to actually hear some stuff too.
like I think the idea of Zod's snap neck is an interesting idea. Like I get
Mhm.
why he did it. I'm not stupid, but the way it's executed, by the time it gets there, I'm just so done.
Yep.
I mean, it's and the destruction of Metropolis. I understand why that happens, and I get it, but it's so long, it's so repetitive, it's so just mind numbing that
Yeah.
it
It's
doesn't
just
work.
so many senses are hitting you at the same time that by
Yeah.
the end, you just need to kinda go somewhere quiet and sit for a minute.
And you have all this destruction in the middle. You have an IHOP joke. Like what?
Yeah, that was weird. And all of the government subsidies with being able to say code breaker 319, we are ready to exit. It's like you're going to write that dialogue and you're not going to write, I can't believe I just killed somebody. I feel horrible. Like,
Yeah.
just let Super.
And
I don't
people
know.
that are like, "Oh, it's a new masterpiece." I mean, fine. If that's how you feel, then more
You're
power
a new
to you.
masterpiece.
But I don't understand it. I don't get
Mm.
it. I don't like it. It's not hashtag not my Superman. Although I love
You know
Henry
what? That's what's
Cavill
so
and I
weird. He
want
is
him
my Superman. Zack Snyder's not my creator for him though.
Yeah,
He
agreed.
and I will also say this. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. I will always say that it shocked me how different and how much better it was. It's way too long. but he knows how to
Yeah.
craft something. He just doesn't really get Superman. He wants all of his heroes to have a little bit of darkness to him, and Superman is just he doesn't embody that. And Henry Cavill knows it, and that's why he
Mhm.
still wants to be Superman.
Like Superman, like the worst scene in Batman v Superman is that scene where people have painted the Superman thing on the roof and he's like
Yeah, and he's
hovering
just
over them. And I'm like, first of all, why isn't he saving them? And second of all, how did they get the paint
yes. Well, it was so slow, you know, you
in the
had no
middle of the
idea.
flood? What?
Eh,
It's so stupid. And yeah, it's just not good.
maybe he, like,
Um
flew the paint down, he's like, "Do you mind just, like, making the sign real quick? Just so you know, there's some helicopters up here, and, it'd be cool. It'd be a really cool shot."
yeah, right. Uh
They say no, he flies away.
so dumb. So bad. Okay, let's do one more. Let me think. Let's see. What's a movie sequel that you're still waiting to see that you wish would
Um,
come out?
that's a good question. Because there's I always try to avoid wanting to, like, go into what most people kind of are saying with this, because a lot of people have said Dread needs a sequel and that Carl Urban should come back and do a sequel to that, and I agree with that, but what for the ones that I would specifically be like, "Where's the sequel?" Hmm, I don't know, you give your answer while I think about it.
Yeah, I
It is a
mean,
tough one, I don't know why it's
it
so
is a
tough.
tough one. It really is. I think that what are characters that I'm just dying to see more of? I mean, it's not a movie, but I would love to see a continuation of the Over the Garden Wall. I don't know if you ever
Mm,
or another season of. It's easier for me to think of series that I would like to see another season of that got canceled
yeah,
too soon.
I
I mean,
could do that.
I would love to see another season of Gravity Falls. That's a show I loved.
Mhm.
Um, and it didn't get canceled too soon, but it still we only got 2 seasons, and it just doesn't seem like enough. I
Yeah.
would love more. So that's.
Hmm. I could do there's a series that came out called Life that starred Damian Lewis. He was a
Mhm,
detective that was kinda like into Buddha and Zen stuff, but he was put in prison for a long time for a crime that he didn't commit. So when he got released, he got tons of money from the lawsuit that got him released. And
mhm.
he has fooled everybody that he's just like a good cop, but people are kind of like, is he shifty? Is he gonna do something? And
Yeah.
so like the Zen thing is kind of a cover because he's trying to investigate who put him away. And so there's a couple seasons of that, and then they just didn't do anything else. And there's a show called Sliders that came out long time ago that was it's kind of like Doctor Who-ish, where these people are trapped in a time warp
Mhm.
where they can't get out of being randomly put in different places in different
Yeah.
universes. I thought that was cool, and they never completed it.
Mhm. Here's a question. This is kind of off topic, but so everybody, a lot of people at least, were just loving Dune. Dune is so
Mm.
great. I thought it was fine.
Oh no, you're gonna
Um,
make Chaz hate me. Don't do
you hate
this.
Dune.
You're gonna make Chaz hate me. Don't
Uh-oh.
no, it's okay, you can do
The
it.
thing I don't understand about sci-fi people
Oh, no.
is because I'm not a sci-fi person, but
Yeah.
I don't really understand why you have movies like Valerian and Jupiter Ascending and John Carter and uh, what was the other one that I was thinking of?
Cowboys versus
Then
Aliens.
and Dune that to me aren't that different. Like they have basically the same
Mm,
elements. I don't
yeah.
really, and I can understand preferring one or the other, but I don't really understand why Valerian's like a travesty and a terrible movie. People talk about it like it was awful, and Dune is like a celebrated masterpiece.
That's interesting because, like, there's that side of the coin, and then there's also people that loved Alita, and a lot of
Lita,
people that
that's
were
another
kind
good
of
one example. Like
so-so with it. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like I mean, I'm honestly kind of just fine with all of them. Like it's sci-fi is not my jam,
Mhm.
and but I can appreciate like the world building and the things. And they, I would say the Dune is to me as enjoyable as any of those films.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it might be the purists, the purist Dune fans that have been around for a long time much like maybe because Star Wars came from Dune and Dune came
Is it
from Foundation, but people love
is it
saying that this is the first. This is what actually was. You know what I
is it
mean?
because yeah, that's true. Is it because but then that would be the same argument with John Carter, and everybody was like, "That's the worst
Mm,
movie ever." And I
yeah.
don't really understand why.
I don't know. I think well, this was maybe a little different too because you have a director that has got a lot of clout with Denis. Who did John
But
Carter?
Andrew Stanton, who did Wall-E, pretty good
Okay,
director.
I don't know then.
Yeah,
Hmm.
isn't it weird? Like, sci-fi fans are weird.
I think it's an interesting question, and
Yeah,
I'm not as into sci-fi as I think other people are, like my co-host Chaz.
like,
But
I can understand the Jupiter Ascending thing because that one goes full on camp and
mm,
is kind of crazy, but I don't understand why The Fifth Element is considered a classic. Everyone loves that,
um,
and everyone hates Jupiter Ascending. To me, those films are very similar.
mm, I haven't seen Jupiter Ascending.
It's ridiculous, but I enjoyed it. I'm one
Nice.
of the few who thought it was fun.
I think sci-fi needs to also be taken with the same amount of like silliness, like acceptance as maybe what was I gonna say? Superhero movies right now.
Yeah,
We're
I
like,
mean, with Valerian, like, the casting isn't as good as with Dune. I would say that Dune is a better movie,
mhm,
but again, it's the divide that
yeah,
I wonder about. Like, why are these movies like to me? Like, I would give Dune like a 6 out of 10, and I would give Valerian maybe like, or maybe I'd give Dune like a 6.5, and I'd give Valerian like a 6. Like, it's slightly
mhm,
better, but it's a beautiful movie. And I mean, Jupiter Ascending, everyone complains about original storytelling that oh nobody like that's original storytelling.
yeah.
And so I just think it's weird. But anyway,
No, I'm with you.
if people have any comments about that, then I'd be curious to know your thoughts. But yeah, I think that we've gone over an hour. So thank you so much for doing this. It was a lot of fun.
Of
I just
course.
enjoyed chatting. And
Well, it's always fun to talk about these
mhm,
not announcements.
right. So where do people find you on your channel?
Oh, well, check me out. Actually, later today, me and Rachel are going to go live on my side to talk about both. What was the first one? Tick Tick Boom and
Belfast.
Belfast. Yes. So go to patrickbeattyreviews.com or just on YouTube, Patrick Beatty Reviews and all that stuff, and you'll see us probably within the next half hour or so.
Yeah, that'll be really fun. Thanks so much. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. And also, thanks to everybody for your congratulations and support of my induction, I guess, into the HCA, into Hollywood Critics Association. That was so exciting and so much fun. So thank you so much. And yeah, and check out Hallmarkies podcast. Got lots of good stuff coming up there. We haven't today. We have an interview with Andrew Walker posting, and he's awesome. So check that out. And thanks so much. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.